Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Before we proceed to our group presentation, let me introduce my group members. We are from group 7 and my name is Najla Alia binti Ilwan. Next, we have Kishalini, daughter of Sibaji Raja, Nantini, daughter of Kunju, Nur Farziana binti Sabtu, Nur Afifah binti Amran, and lastly, Nur Afifah binti Mustafa. Our topic for the presentation is the plant chain at Savoir. Savoir is a French marketing company that exists in our chosen movie, which is Emily in Paris. And with that, I will pass the presentation to Afifa Mustafa for the introduction.
Thank you, Najla. So I will proceed to the abstract of the movie part. So the movie is basically about Emily, a 20-year-old marketing executive at Gilbert Group in Chicago. Her boss, Madeleine Wheeler, is set to move to Paris as they have recently acquired the French marketing agency Savoir. She's well acquainted with the French language and work ethic and is ready to make a move when she finds out she is pregnant. Madeleine decides that she has to stay put in Chicago to raise her child and offers her position to Emily. Spontaneously, Emily decides to accept and takes this leap of faith. And how bad can it be? So let's find out together. On her arrival, Emily creates an Instagram account to chronicle her life in Paris. At Savoir, Emily is her usual chirpy self and is immediately disliked by the French team, which is more sophisticated. They live for life rather than work, unlike Emily, whose American brain does not understand the meaning of work-life balance. Emily's boss is Sylvie, and her ways are more traditional and less over the top than Emily's, which makes for a very interesting office environment for Emily. This is a typical case of out with the old and in with the new. Once Savor's clients meet Emily, they start to fall for her fresh charm and unique ideas, which make Sylvie's blood boil more. Along with Sylvie, the office includes fun and strange Luke and office diva Julian, both of whom initially take Sylvie's side but later get convinced Emily is not half bad. Luke even offers Emily some sweet advice so she can move on from being a fish out of the water in the city of love. Emily's Instagram account, which is Emily in Paris, becomes successful, and due to her influence, she starts to bring in new and big clients for Savoir. One is haute couture fashion designer Pierre Cadalt. Pierre is lost as she is unable to create for the young people of today. Emily helps him to get out of this dilemma, but unfortunately for them, they become a target of new streetwear designer Grace Pace, who sabotaged Pierre's event, leaving him even more distraught than he was before. Pierre then decides he will not participate in Paris Fashion Week, causing Emily to get fired. Emily then goes to Pierre and convinces him to take revenge on Grace Pace by hosting his own fashion show where Grace Pace is holding an event. The event is a massive success and Pierre's over-the-top yet youthful outfits are loved by everyone, especially the youngsters. And after that, Emily gets redeemed. In this movie, it can be seen that the company practiced human process intervention to control the issues. Human process interventions are organizational development interventions related to interpersonal relations, group, and organizational dynamics. This type of intervention is often used to improve communication within the workplace, whether between employer and employees and also among the employees only. That's all from me, so I'll pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Afifa. I will continue to present about stage 1, which is unfreezing. Firstly, work to live. Emily co-worker do not agree with Emily, American perspective, because they favor their life outside of work because the French, however, have a well-established work-life balance. Their cultural importance of vacancy and family time is even enhanced by the government regulation work hour and minimum pay vacation times. Next, teamwork and mutual assistance. French people work as a team on every project. Therefore, Emily's individualistic behavior is not well received by her co-worker who promote team spirit. In fact, Americans value individuality and a do-it-yourself mentality in the workplace, which is why Emily feels the consistent need to be recognized individually for her accomplishment. Next, short working hour. Office hours speak a lot about workplace culture. On her first day at office, Emily showed up at 8 a.m. only to find out that nobody arrived before 10:30 a.m. This shows that French people have shorter working hours than in the US and more vacation time. Lastly, language. It's important to know the people and the custom before moving abroad to start a new job. When Emily arrived to Paris, she doesn't know a single word in France and used a translation app to introduce herself to her new coworker. Consequently, Emily feels backlash from her coworker. The, the language is a strong element of organization culture, and if Emily have learned French before moving to Paris, it will be easier for her to socialize with her new coworker. Before joining the organization, Emily expects her coworker to make some effort and communicate in English with her.
Hello everyone, my name is Nandini and next I'm going to present about stage 2, which is movement that involved in the movie Emily in Paris. Stage 2 movement is an actual implementation of change that involves the acceptance of new ways of doing things. The first step of movement from the movie is embodies the learning, sense making and adjustment of an individual to an organizational role. As an employee, Emily should observe and mirror to adopt the norm of behavior of her colleagues. Thus, she could mirror them and adopt their norms of behavior. Instead of adopting to the French culture, she can impose an American point of view to perplex French colleagues. She also can strive to understand the most important norms of behavior of a new workplace. The next step of movement is analyzing organizational culture. Analyzing organizational culture is useful to decode the actions of a different stakeholder that involve the change. It allows to critically consider the ethic of managing through culture, reshape their own vision and understanding of themselves. For instance, Emily's manager has a very clear idea of how to manage her team. She does not want Emily to work on big projects alone because teamwork is stated value of the French organizational culture. Thus, analyzing organizational culture is important.
Now I will talk about stage 3, rephrasing shown in the movie. Rephrasing is the stage in which the workplace accept and internalize the changes made and ensure the changes last within the organization. In this movie, the rephrasing stage was recognized through individual roles and organizational role. First of all, the individual role in this movie implied to Emily, the main character, to ensure the effectiveness of refreezing stage, she has to continue to learn and adapt to or to fit into the changes made. At the end of the series, Emily was able to get along with her colleagues by trying to accept the culture differences and adapt to the changes. For example, she tried to overcome the disapproval among the French workers and on how she works by suppressing her Americanness or her own way of working. Upon the movement stage, Emily shall continue to be aware of the French norms at the workplace and adjust to the way she works according to the organization's culture. Although she preferred to work in the way she worked in US, not like the French people in the current organization. This is to avoid any more of conflict with colleagues and also to maintain the result of the movement stage in the current stage of refreezing. Moving on is the organization or management role, which in this movie refers to the Emily's manager. Their role is to ensure the changes last where the organization members must be able to continue to implement the changes made on their own. The character Emily's manager shows how the management or the authorized personnel can have significant effect on their employees' action and thinking. For example, the manager is against the idea of Emily working individually on the big project because it is not representing the French organizational culture. So the manager was trying to exclude Emily from the team by naming her as the hick and urge on other employees to call her likewise. This type of influences will encourage the organization members to withdraw themselves from committing to the changes or to develop their changes management capabilities, which will result in unsuccessful rephrasing stage or even ineffective movement stage. So, upon the movement stage, the manager should take responsibility to encourage the employees to adapt to and to respect each other's culture differences. By doing so, they can continue to search for mutually accepted organizational culture so that no one will feel detached from the organization. As a result, the changes made can be continued to last within the organization as well.
Change is a fundamental element of any company that seeks to constantly prosper and expand. Organizations should embark on change endeavors as processes rather than separate phases. There is a need to understand that workers might resist the proposed change and establish practices of ensuring that any opposition is addressed successfully. Kurt Lewin's change model established three stages that assist a company to manage its transformation endeavors effectively. Even though there has cultural differences in the company, this three-step change model successfully implemented.